The White Crow and his friends, once upon a time, in a small forest far away, lived a very curious crow named White Crow. Besides his bright white feathers, he was faster than his friends, and his favorite thing in the world was walnuts. He also loved to collect clothespins from the balconies of the houses near the forest. In fact, it was on a day just like that when he met his dear friends, Kopush and Tosbacik. Would you like me to tell you about the day they met? Kopush, a Siberian husky, and Tosbacik, a water turtle, lived in the same house. One day, Tosbacik was sunbathing in his aquarium on the balcony, while Kopush was dozing on his soft cushion on the floor. The balcony was almost the size of a room, and the branches of some trees touched it. Along the balcony railings, there were pots with all sorts of flowers. White Crow had gotten tired while flying high up and had come to rest on the large pine tree near the balcony. I wish I had a flying carpet, he thought, so I could go wherever I want comfortably, even while sleeping. As he looked around from his high branch, he began to scan the balconies. On one, he saw a fan. What a strange thing, he thought. Then, looking at another balcony, something green caught his eye. Could it be a clothespin? Curiously, he flew and landed on the balcony railing, but what he saw disappointed him. The thing he thought was a clothespin was actually a green water turtle, sunbathing upside down with its feet in the air. As he watched in amazement, he saw a dog looking at him, and that was how they first met. From that day on, they started seeing each other every day, talking for hours. White Crow would tell them about the mountains, hills, lakes, and other animals he saw. Tosbacik would talk about his dreams and what the people in the house were doing. And Kopush would talk about his life with his owner and the birds and butterflies he chased in the garden. One day, while Tosbacik was talking about the family, he mentioned that everyone was very excited because they would be hosting a very important guest over the weekend. Kopush didn't seem to care much. All he wanted was to go out into the garden and chase butterflies. Hearing about a guest, White Crow immediately became curious after all. He was a curious crow. "Who is the guest?" asked White Crow. Tosbacik replied. "What was his name? What was it?" I remember now, Jules Verne. "Oh, double quotes," said White Crow, his eyes widening. "Did you say Jules Verne? He is my favorite author. Please introduce me to him. I promise I will bring you the most beautiful, most delicious walnuts in the world," he said. Tosbacik and Kopush replied, "All right, our friend. Don't you worry." White Crow waited excitedly for the weekend, and as soon as the meeting time arrived, he flew from the forest to the balcony. On the balcony were his friends and someone he didn't know. His friends introduced him. Yes, it was his favorite author, and he excitedly began to ask questions. "Calm down," said his favorite author. "I have plenty of time. You can ask whatever you want. After all, I've never had a crow ask me questions before," he added with a smile. White Crow began his questions. "Sir, my favorite books of yours are Journey to the Moon, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and Around the World in 80 Days. Did you really go to the moon?" "No, I didn't, but I would have loved to. When I wrote this book, no one had been to the moon yet. As a child, I used to look at the moon at night and think it was following me. I longed to be on the moon. In fact, I recently found an old notebook where I had written this down," the famous author said. White Crow continued asking, "If these things aren't real, how could you write them?" The author answered, "What I write doesn't have to be real. I can write about the things I imagine, the places, people, and animals I see in my dreams. I can go to the bottom of the sea. I can travel around the world. What I write is called science fiction." It grew dark, and stars appeared in the sky. White Crow kept asking questions, on and on. His questions were endless, but he saw that it was evening and sadly stopped. It was time to say goodbye. The famous author said, "I am very happy to have met you. You are a very smart and curious crow. From now on, I will come to see you and your friends often. In the meantime, if you have any questions you want to ask, you can write me a letter." White Crow was overjoyed to hear these words. They said their goodbyes. The famous author left to return home. White Crow hugged his friends for introducing him to the author and gave them the walnuts he had brought with him. Then he flew towards the forest. After all, he would be back to see his friends again the next day.